Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream with me, Professor Heather Austin. I'm so excited to see you guys here in the chat. We have so many of you joining us from all over the world. I'm going to say hi to you in just a second, but if you are new to my channel, if you've never met me before, my name is Heather Austin, and on this channel, I help working professionals or just professionals like you build a personal brand so that you can thrive in the marketplace. Now, if you are new here, make sure you hit the thumbs up to this video. It also lets me know that you can hear me and audio is coming through okay and video is working. Also, I want to know in the chat, where are you joining us from today? I know that we have a lot of you from all over. I'm super excited to have you guys here. I'm super excited to give you all of these tools and resources today. You're going to want to take notes because I have a lot to cover. So let me say hello to some of you here. Kimberly, I'm so glad you could make it. Kimberly's joining us from Florida. Hello, Steve. I know Steve's from Canada. Kristen is joining us. Hi, Kristen from Texas. Tori's also in here. She is my team member. Now remember, if you guys have questions, she is going to be collecting all of your questions and putting them in front of me. So make sure you get your questions into the live chat and she will get them in front of me. And I'm going to answer them at the end of this live stream. And anytime you have questions throughout the live stream, just pop those in. We're going to be covering a lot of ground today. It looks like Marie is here. Hello, Marie. So happy to have you here. Shannon is here from Kentucky. We have Laura here from Waco, Texas. Hello. So excited to have you guys here. We are going to jump into some fantastic content today. Let me give you a couple of reminders. This is a 3-day LinkedIn Jumpstart challenge. So I didn't give it the name challenge for nothing, right? At the end of the challenge today, I am going to be giving you a task. So it's a task, it's something simple, but it's something that I want you to complete at the end of the day so that you can help your LinkedIn profile, build a better LinkedIn profile, and actually learn how to use this hairy beast of a platform, right? A little bit easier than probably you know now. So let me make a big announcement as well. Friday, just so you guys are aware of this, Friday, doors are opening for LinkedIn Profile Perfection. Now, if you have not yet heard about what LinkedIn Profile Perfection is, this is my all-inclusive online LinkedIn course library. It's complete with video lessons, step-by-step tutorials to help you build a powerful LinkedIn profile and navigate the platform with confidence. So you'll want to keep your eyes on that. We are doing LinkedIn critiques this week as well. So we're doing profile critiques on Friday. If you have not yet submitted your URL for the profile critique, I have a page for you to visit, and Tori will pop the link into the chat here. This is the page that you want to go to be eligible for the free critique. Now, we have hundreds of people that submit their URL for this, and we will be selecting a handful of people to do the critique. But if you can, go to this website. Tori will pop it in to the chat. It's also in the comments, in the description below this video. So look for that. Go in and you're going to enter your name and your email address, the best email address that you have, so that I can get your URL and then hopefully you'll be eligible for that critique. This also puts you on the wait list to receive $100 off when LinkedIn Profile Perfection launches on Friday. So to kick off this launch, we are doing a 3-day LinkedIn Jumpstart challenge. So every day, today, Thursday, and Friday, I'm going to be sharing a few minutes of content with you to really help you overcome some of your biggest challenges when it comes to LinkedIn. Now, I want to know also, anyone else that's popping in here, just let me know, say hello in the chat. If you've been shy and you have not yet said hello in the chat before, I really want to encourage you to say hello. These live streams are very interactive. I ask you guys a lot of questions and a lot of you respond. And if you haven't yet responded, I want to see you. Okay, I want to see you say hello. I want to see your name pop up. I want to be able to say hello to you. And I'm also going to be checking in to make sure you're completing the challenge this week. So let me know in the chat really quickly. Let me pop to my slides. And if you've ever been on a live stream with me before, you know that I'm a huge visual learner, right? But also I'm a teacher. So I always have slides, I always have resources, I always have free stuff to give you guys to make sure you are really learning the content well. So today is day 1. We are covering 3 reasons why now is the best time to use LinkedIn. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of stuff with you guys today and throughout this challenge that you've probably never heard before, and really excellent resources to help you overcome some of your struggles. Hello, I'm so glad to see you guys saying hello. Hi, Keith. Alex is here. I love that screen name. Let us figure it out with me. I love that. Julie's here. Philippine home-based virtual assistant. Hello. Danielle is here. Mary Grace. So happy to see you guys. Thanks for saying hello in the chat. I knew you were there. Okay, I want to know next in the chat, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your LinkedIn profile? 1 being your profile is not awesome and you know it needs work. 10 being, you know what, my LinkedIn profile is perfect. Okay, 1 being not great, 10 being that it's perfect. And let me show you guys, in spite of all the coronavirus fears out there right now, I have my mug, my Hello Sunshine mug. I wanted to bring some happiness into everyone's, if you are worried about that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your LinkedIn profile? Now, as you guys are popping that into the chat, I want to share my LinkedIn story with you really quick so you understand where I'm coming from and kind of how I learned some of the stuff that I learned. So when I first started using LinkedIn, I was super confused. I was actually really overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do to stand out from everyone else, and I didn't even know how to network. So this was a couple years ago. I was overwhelmed by the entire platform. I was actually really embarrassed to put myself out there. I was afraid of what others would think. I didn't know what my supervisor was going to think of me if I start putting things out there and bragging about myself, right? I didn't know what my coworkers would think. And I was actually really afraid of that. So a few years ago, and this is actually how I felt. Let me show you my slide and tell me if you ever feel this way too. I was kind of thinking, oh no, what's going on and how do I use this platform, right? So a couple of years ago, I was actually working in a job I loved, okay? I loved it so much. This is actually, the picture on the left is my coworkers and I created an 80s party for ourselves, right? Who doesn't love the 80s? And these were the type of people I worked with. I loved going to work every day. I loved teaching. I loved interacting with my colleagues. The picture on the right is me sitting in front of the organization's mission statement. That's how much I believed in what I was doing and believed in who I worked for. But the only problem is during that time, my classroom sizes were dwindling, okay? Programs were being discontinued all around me. And even my supervisors, my directors, managers were resigning. And I knew that there was something I needed to do to find a new opportunity for myself. And with it being the 21st century, I knew that, a good resume and a cover letter just was not going to cut it. I knew that I needed to implement something else. I knew that I had to learn this one tool. And of course, this one tool is LinkedIn, right? So let me see what you guys have said about how you rate your profile. I see some 5s. That's good. So we're about middle of the road here. 5. Kimberly says 4. Kristen says 5. Monet says 7. Good. 7's not a bad rating. We're almost to the perfect part, right? Jonathan says 7. Alex says, I think a 7. Yvonne says 6 to 7. Good. You guys, and I do see some 1s in here. We're gonna improve your rating throughout this entire 3-day workshop. So let me give you a little bit more information on what happened with me. So I started out on LinkedIn, and I actually only started with 50 connections, and this is how I felt. I was pretty bummed out. I wasn't sure how the heck I was going to start building my connections, but I went to work learning everything I could about LinkedIn. And what happened over time is I was actually able to build my connections from 50 to now almost 6,000. So over 5,000 connections, which means with those new connections come new opportunities, new things present themselves to me on a daily basis. Now, here's the cool thing. It wasn't just the connections that really changed how I viewed LinkedIn and how I used the platform. I actually started appearing in almost 900 searches every single week. So if someone would go out and search for a position, my profile would pop up for them. And it was because I had spent the time to really optimize my profile. And we're gonna talk all about this throughout this 3-day workshop here. I'd spent the time to put the work into my LinkedIn profile. And now what it was doing is all the heavy lifting for me. And then I also started showing up in like profile views. So I was now getting almost 5,000 profile views in a week. So not only was I showing up in searches, but people were now going to my profile to view my profile. And I'm not the only one that's been able to do this. I want to share a story with you. Cheryl Ann, she's actually one of my students / clients. She was also able to grow her LinkedIn profile. So she goes on to say, she says, I want to let you know that your great advice works. She says, see my LinkedIn profile views now. So she's now popping up in almost 60 views every week. And it's actually probably more since she sent this message to me. She says, your advice was spot on. And here's the cool thing about what happened with Cheryl. She'd applied for the same job hundreds of times, she said. After she made some tweaks and changes to her profile, she actually landed the job that she had applied for many times before. So this is the kind of results that I want to see you guys get. We're going to jump into the content. Make sure you have a pencil ready. I'm going to be sharing a template with you today that I want you to use when you start networking with individuals on LinkedIn. Also, get your questions into the chat. My team is here. In fact, if you guys want to say hi to Tori, she's here monitoring the chat, and she's going to be getting all of your questions in and putting them through to me so that we can make sure that we get you taken care of. Okay, let's jump into so we're going to cover the 3 reasons today why you need to be using LinkedIn. The first reason is that it's the world's largest online professional network. So notice I said professional network. Now there's all sorts of networks out there, right? But LinkedIn is the #1 place for working professionals or just professionals in general. It's really the only platform that you can show your skills, your talents, and your abilities on a professional level. Okay, here's the other interesting thing about LinkedIn that you guys probably didn't know. There's 600 million users on the platform, and 2 new users join every second. Now, from what I've observed, since I've used LinkedIn for a couple of years now, is and I could be wrong on this exact fact, but this is kind of my observation, is that I think that the platform's growing by 100 million users every year. Because when I first started learning LinkedIn, it was 400 million. Then the next year it was 500 million. Now it's 600 million. So it just keeps growing and growing. The other cool thing about LinkedIn is that 98% of recruiters and 85% of hiring managers use this platform. Now, I got to tell you guys something super important here. I meet with human resource professionals, other career coaches, LinkedIn experts all over the world, just so that I can stay up to date on all the information. And what we are hearing is a lot of human resource professionals are now actually just going straight to LinkedIn to search for their talent rather than using applicant tracking systems. And the reason why is because they're able to streamline their search a lot better. So when a recruiter or a hiring manager goes to find someone on LinkedIn, they use all sorts of search algorithms to find you. Okay, it's not just they want someone with 10 years of experience that has this title that went to this school. They go deep and they try and pull up the top 10, 15, 20 candidates, and now they're using LinkedIn rather than sorting through the ATS systems, because what's happening is the ATS systems are kind of jumbling up the process, and LinkedIn is almost taking its place in a way. And it will be interesting to see as time goes on if LinkedIn kind of replaces that altogether. Now, here is another The other cool thing about LinkedIn is that it aligns perfectly with Google's search algorithm. So let me know in the chat, have you ever Googled yourself? Let me know. Give me a yes or a no if you've ever Googled yourself. If you have a fully optimized, built out LinkedIn profile, Google's going to pop that up at the top of the search results compared to other things that might pop up. So believe it or not, hiring officials, they search you on the internet because they want to know what's coming up for you. You don't want your Facebook page or like your Instagram profile or like your more casual areas to come up, right? You want something that's professional, that they can see right away, and that they can look at you. So that's the other reason why you definitely need to have that optimized LinkedIn profile. Now, before we jump into this, the second reason, LinkedIn improves connections. So you have communities, you have groups, you have all of your alumni that you can get in touch with, and then there's a plethora of resources. So I want to know also, are you a member of any groups on LinkedIn? Now, I know we have our Facebook group on, and hopefully most of you guys are in there. If not, make sure you request to join that group. It's a free group on Facebook. It's so amazing. We network and connect all the time. I'm in there every day, and so is Tori. We're answering questions and welcoming everyone and helping make sure that you guys get your questions answered. But, and we haven't yet utilized the LinkedIn group. I want to know, are you in any of the LinkedIn groups? So have you ever taken advantage of those groups, which are fantastic? I'm in other groups, not my own, but in other groups on LinkedIn. They're amazing. So let me know if you've ever done that. And I want to just see, someone's asking, who wants to connect on LinkedIn? I love it. I want you guys to interact with each other. Charlie says yes. Jeremy says yes. So this is back to if you guys have Googled yourself. It looks like a lot of you have. Yes. Someone says, I Googled myself, but for fun. Yeah. And then Steve says, I've never Googled myself. Make sure that you do have your LinkedIn profile optimized so that when you do Google yourself, or when someone else does, they can see a professional profile, right? Okay, let's jump to the second reason why you need to be using LinkedIn is because it's super easy to find and apply for jobs online. Okay, this is one of my favorite features of the LinkedIn platform, and it's called the jobs page. So the jobs page, you'll notice at the top of your screen, it's a suitcase looking icon, okay, similar to what I have up here. This page allows you to do some serious damage when it comes to, and I mean serious damage in a good way, right? When it comes to finding jobs and applying for the jobs that actually fit your abilities. Now, this is the other reason why it's super important for you to have your profile optimized, is that when you go to LinkedIn, it will give you, your jobs page is custom specifically to you. So if I go to my jobs page, all the jobs on there are going to be specific to me. If you go to the jobs page, it's going to be specific to you. Now, it's specific to you based on your profile. So you need to make sure your profile has all the things you want to be known for, your biggest accomplishments, all that good stuff, right? All those juicy details, so that the jobs that are presented to you are right in front of you. Now, this is what I love about LinkedIn, because it takes the hours and hours and hours out of searching for jobs here and there and trying to find jobs that are a good fit for you and yada, yada, yada. It takes it and it all puts it into one place. And now they're saying, hey, you know, you're not going to go apply for all these other random jobs. Here's like 12 jobs. Here's 15 jobs. Here's 20 jobs that you should be focusing on based on your profile. So again, that's why we want to make sure your profile is a good representation of you. Now, here's the other thing. Why the jobs feature is so powerful is that there's 30 million companies on LinkedIn and there's 20 million job openings. Okay, so a lot of companies are now just going straight to LinkedIn to list their job rather than some of these other resources. And I'm not saying that these other resources aren't great, but I'm just saying LinkedIn can help you streamline the entire process. Now, let me kind of tell you really quickly how you can find your ideal position. So there's a few ways that you can do this on LinkedIn. Number one, through the search bar. Okay, so when you go to the jobs feature, you'll notice at the top, you have the search bar. This allows you to filter by location, work experience, the date posted. Maybe you want just the positions that were posted within the last, 30 days or within the last 10 days. It doesn't matter. You can list that there. Maybe you want to work for a specific company. the search bar will allow you to filter just based on that company. So again, you're not spending all this time like sorting through hundreds and hundreds of job postings. You're really getting straight to exactly the jobs that you want to apply for and that are a really good fit for you. Now, the other thing you can do is browse jobs presented to you. And again, we've been talking a lot about this. These are the jobs that LinkedIn shows you in your profile on your jobs page. Now, make sure that your profile is optimized. Also, you guys have probably gotten this before, notifications from LinkedIn if you have this set, where they'll start emailing you jobs that are a good fit for you. So make sure you take a look at that if you haven't yet. The other cool thing about the jobs feature is that you can save the position and reference it later. So let's say you're doing a quick search and maybe you're even using the mobile version of LinkedIn and you're like, oh shoot, I'm not ready to apply for this job. I need to change a couple things on my profile. You can save it and it will keep it in your saved jobs area on the jobs page, and then you can come back and reference it later because you want to have a couple minutes to really make sure you're a good fit and just to look through it. The other thing you can do within LinkedIn is you can apply directly inside the platform. So if you see a job posting, LinkedIn will show it to you, and a lot of times it will say apply. If you click on that button, sometimes it takes you directly to the company's website. Now, this is not a job search necessarily workshop here, but just know that it will take you to the company's website a lot of times. You'll want to apply on the company website, but remember, you can't just stop there. You have to apply on the website, contact the hiring official on LinkedIn, email someone, call the company, all that good stuff. Okay, you can't just apply and think that everything's going to come together right for you. It takes a little bit more work than that. And then the other, finally on the jobs page, the other section that I love here is the career interests page. And I want to know in the chat from you, have you ever used the career interests page before? So let me know. Just type yes or no below. The career interests page on LinkedIn is the area that allows you to tell a recruiter or a hiring official that you're open to new opportunities, and you can give them more details about what those opportunities are. Like you might say, I'm super passionate about accounting and whatever else you want to talk about. But there might be something that you don't love, and I don't know if you necessarily want to mention things you don't love. I would focus on what you're passionate about, what drives you. But these are little notes that you can add to the hiring officials or recruiters that are using the LinkedIn tool to find people. So let me see who's in here that said that they've used the career interest tool before. Marie says, never used it. Oh, it's such a fantastic tool. Kristen says no. Kenneth has. Awesome. Someone says, I just updated mine. Good. I love that. Jeremy says no. Yukon 33 says, I had a hard time finding the career interest page. If you go to the jobs page, again, it's that suitcase icon. You'll see it right there. It's actually it's at the top. And here's the funny thing about LinkedIn that you guys probably already know is they change their user interface a lot. Okay. They change it I want to say I log into that platform and maybe once or twice a month, I'm like, oh, that's a new feature. Or I'll be like, wait, that was on this side of the screen and now it's on that side of the screen. So they change things very frequently in that platform. But even so, I mean, all platforms do, right? I mean, it's one of the best places still if you're a job seeker or if you want to find new career opportunities. Okay, the third reason, and this is the third reason why now is the best time to use LinkedIn, and then we'll take questions here, is you can become a thought leader in your industry. So what do I mean by a thought leader? So a thought leader, of course, is someone that shares their thoughts and opinions and becomes well known as that authority. So I bet all of you know some skill or have some skill that you're really good at, or you have some talent, or you have something that you could teach others, right? And tomorrow's actually one of my favorite days of our 3-day challenge. We are going to be talking all about content that you can share online and how to develop relationships, deeper relationships using LinkedIn. But for now, I want you to consider the thought leadership position. So the reason why this is so powerful is because competition on LinkedIn is fairly low. There's only 3 million users that share content on a weekly basis. So I want you to compare that for a second to Facebook, where Facebook has 350 million posts are uploaded every day, or excuse me, photos are uploaded every day. So 350 million photos uploaded every day on Facebook. And then on Instagram, there's 100 million photos and videos uploaded every day. Now, if you take for a second that there are only 3 million users sharing content weekly on LinkedIn, think of what that could do for your career if you were to take something that you're passionate about, that you know something about, and you start talking about it. You start making posts in your newsfeed. Maybe you do articles. You will start being known as an authority in that area. So that's one of the other reasons why, or how you can become an authority in your area. Now, tomorrow we'll talk all about this, but let me show you really quickly what you can do. Either start a post or write an article, okay? And we'll talk, I'm gonna give you guys examples tomorrow about posts that work and posts that don't work, articles that work, and maybe things that don't work in an article. So if you decided to take on that, you want to start posting and developing content on LinkedIn, basically that's all you do is a post or an article. It's as simple as that. And that, again, will help you become an authority or a thought leader in your industry. Now, before we jump to questions and before I give you guys today's challenge, I want to know in the chat, what is your biggest takeaway so far today? What is your biggest takeaway in terms of some of the things that we shared? And I do have, as you guys are typing that in, I want to show you really quickly the source of the statistics. So I didn't just pull these statistics out of thin air. I actually found the a website that actually reports these statistics. So if you ever need to look at LinkedIn or any of the other platforms and what their content looks like or usage looks like, I went to omnicoreagency.com. So again, that's omnicoreagency.com. Those are the individuals that I got my statistics from. So again, in the chat, what is your biggest takeaway so far today? And we are also going to jump into questions. Of course, I'm not going to leave without giving you guys a challenge. And this challenge includes a template. So in just a second here, you will need to screenshot the template I'm about to share with you, or write it down or come back and listen to the replay or whatever it is, because this template is going to be super, super, super valuable. Okay, let me kind of see what you guys are saying in the chat. Looks like you guys are connecting on LinkedIn. I love that. Yes, Larry says, so true. Only a handful of people show up in my feed every day. Isn't that interesting? So why couldn't you be one of those people that are showing up in individuals' feed? I love that. Okay, let's see. Charlie. Hello, Charlie. So glad you're here. It says, can I give 2 takeaways? Yes, you can. He says, I love, 1, really need to network more. And 2, oh shoot, I lost your comment. The chat's moving so fast. It like scrolled past me faster than I could. And 2, I love the idea of thought leadership. Yes, it's such a powerful concept, especially if you are, and you could even be a newbie to your career. It doesn't matter, but you've learned something. You have skills, you have talents, you have abilities. You can share that. And tomorrow I'm going to tell you exactly what types of posts you can share and what posts get the most engagement. Awesome. Alex says, becoming a thought leader. Good. Randy, thought leader. So glad that you guys are loving the thought leadership part. That's actually one of my favorites as well. I love that. Okay. Yes. Manita says, the takeaway, huge untapped opportunity. So good. Yep. Awesome. Someone says, I'm looking forward to the tips on engaging posts and articles. Oh, tomorrow's going to be so good. So if you guys have not yet signed up for reminders and all that good stuff, let me show you another link really quick so that you can, and Tori, this link's really easy. It's professораustin.com/live class. If you have not yet gone here, you'll want to go to this website and click Save My Spot. This will give you your notifications and reminders for tomorrow's 3-day challenge and then the last day of the 3-day challenge. So tomorrow and Friday, we are going to be here with even better content. Now, are you guys ready for the challenge? Before I answer questions, I want to give you guys the challenge first. And I'm going to be asking you tomorrow to report back. Okay. So hopefully, and if you can't catch catch us live, jump back into the comments of tomorrow's video. And then remember, this 3-day challenge is only going to be available until next week, Thursday, and then it comes down. So if you need to come back and listen and take notes again, make sure you do that. Okay. I'm so excited to give you guys this challenge. It is a good one. Okay, this is today's challenge. I want you to connect with 10 to 20 people on LinkedIn, okay? 10 to 20 people before tomorrow. Now, I'm going to share with you guys a quick template that you can use to actually start connecting with people so that it doesn't scare the crap out of you, okay? Because I know that a lot of people that I work with and my students and my clients, this is one of the things that they don't love to do is networking. And it's one of the things that you need to start doing if you want to succeed in your career and more specifically on LinkedIn. So here is the template I want you to use. Now, take a screenshot of this if you want to, write it down if you need to, but here is a quick connection request template that you can use. And I'll tell you a couple of things you can put in here to change things up. So you're going to say to the person, hey there. So this is, you find someone on LinkedIn that you want to connect with. Now, we are talking more in depth about networking tomorrow, but this is kind of a segue into tomorrow's lesson. You're going to say, hi there, so-and-so, and you're going to list their name. And then you're going to say, I noticed that like me, you, and then you have to list the similarity. Okay. So this means you're not going to be connecting with just anyone. You are going to be finding people that A, either work at the same company you do, that B, also have the same title as you, C, maybe they work in the same industry as you, D, maybe they have the title or they work in a position that you want, okay? And we could go on and on about how to create similarities or how to create a connection, but it has to be something that you guys have in common. Maybe that person went to high school with you. Maybe they went to college with you. Maybe they were in your program in school and you never met them. Maybe they go to the same church as you. Maybe they like tennis. It doesn't matter. You're going to say, I noticed that like me, you also play tennis. Okay. It could be anything. Like me, you also play softball. I don't even care. It just has to be something that creates that connection. Okay. And then you're also going to say, and if this is the case, I also noticed we share a lot of the same connections. So if you share connections, write that. If you don't, of course, don't write that. But the nice thing about putting that sentence in there, if you share a lot of the same connections, is now they're like, oh, okay, this person's not just spamming me. They really want to connect. They've taken a couple minutes. And let me tell you guys, these thoughtful connections make such a big difference. They are going to change everything for you. Okay, so make sure that you get that statement in there. And then you're going to say, would you mind if we connect here on LinkedIn? Okay. And then say thanks and then sign with your name. Now, I'll be curious to know tomorrow who does this and what the response rate is that you guys get with these connection requests. Sometimes people don't notice their connections for a couple days, so you might not get a huge response. Sometimes people notice right away. You might get all 10 to 20 of your people to accept your connection request, but this is just our starting point, okay? Just the starting point is for 10 to 20 people. We are going to connect with them on LinkedIn using that template. And that is your challenge for today. I even have a juicier challenge for tomorrow, so make sure you join in tomorrow. Also, there is, Tori, can you pop into the chat? Yes, also, she did it already. She says, join us tomorrow, set your reminders for, she's one step ahead of me. Okay, and let me tell you guys, I could not run this live show without Tori, so I'm so grateful for her. Every day she jumps on and she helps us get what we need to do. So thanks, Tori. Okay, and then again, let's go ahead and let's answer some questions. So make sure you guys are here tomorrow. We have so many fantastic things to cover tomorrow and day 3 especially. remember that LinkedIn Profile Perfection opens on Friday. So if you guys think this workshop or this challenge is good, LinkedIn Profile Perfection takes it one step further. So the program opens for enrollment. I only open this program once, maybe twice a year. I don't even know if we're going to open it again this year because we have other programs and things that we run. But this one is open now. It's going to be at an extreme VIP early bird offer starting on Friday. So you want to make sure you keep your eyes on that. You know, if you're really wanting to build and market yourself on LinkedIn and navigate the platform like a pro, you want to keep your eyes open for that. So let's jump into some questions. So I know that you guys probably have a bunch. So let's go ahead. Yes. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put my glasses on. And by the way, I just have to tell you guys, my eyesight has even gotten worse. So this year I started wearing reading glasses, right? And I didn't think I needed them that strong. And now they're getting stronger. So I don't know if it's my age or if it's because I look at the computer all day. Okay. Someone says, how do you attract recruiters when you are changing careers from teaching curriculum development career in tech company? Okay. So, and I think your name is pronounced Banisha. I'm not totally sure. Sorry if that's not the right pronunciation. This is a question I get a lot about if you're changing a career, how do you get recruiters to notice you? You have to tailor your profile to the new industry that you want to go into. Now, this happened to me when I was teaching at universities. I was really afraid to build out my profile for my own business. And one day I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I have to just do it because I'm not going to stay in the past. I'm moving forward into the future, right? So you need to have your profile tailored to the new position that you want. Kristen, good question. How many jobs should be on there? So when it comes to your LinkedIn profile, you want it to mirror your resume. Okay. You're not going to copy and paste from your resume, but you want it to mirror your resume. It shouldn't really be a number of how many jobs. It should be how many years. Okay. And same thing as your resume. You don't want to go back any more than 10 to 15 years. Okay, the original Alana, hello, says, talk about photos on LinkedIn, please. Yes, we are actually talking about photos on day 3. So make sure you're here for day 3. We're talking all about that good stuff, all the different profile pieces, so all the different parts on your profile. Okay, Rayhana says, I want to use LinkedIn for my network marketing business. How do I do that? Ooh, that's a loaded question. So that would take us a little bit of time to really get into. Let me just give you one tip though that you can walk away with today. What I would do, and not everyone knows how to use LinkedIn properly. And in fact, I'm going to recommend to you to do this, but then you're going to find profiles that aren't great, but you will find profiles that are. I would recommend looking at others in your industry that are using LinkedIn really well in the network marketing area. And first of all, start with building out your profile. See what they're doing and kind of follow their lead. Okay, you're not going to copy and paste from them or anything like that, but look at what others are doing in your industry that are doing it well and follow their lead. Manita says, I love how you're presenting. Oh, so glad that you love it. What software are you using to stream? I actually use OBS. So OBS is I'm not even sure what you call this, but that's how I share slides and different windows and all that good stuff. Does one LinkedIn and profile differ on a laptop? Yes, it differs a lot. So I use both. And in fact, it's really weird because I'll go to my phone for certain things on LinkedIn, and then I go to the computer for certain things like my laptop or my desktop. So yeah, it looks very different. It's an app on your phone. Some people love the app. Some people love the desktop. So yeah, it's very, very different. Make sure the individual that, I think your name, you pronounce it Tomaton. Make sure you're here for the 3-day challenge tomorrow and Friday, because we talk a lot about this. So you said that you're a beginner to LinkedIn and you have an incomplete profile. So we'll work through that. The original Alana says, can we cover how closely LinkedIn? Oh, I love that you asked that because I just talked about it. Yes, we're going to actually talk about that more throughout this 3-day challenge. You want it to mirror your resume, but you don't want to copy and paste. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips on Friday for how to do your work experience section, your summary, all that good stuff. John says, I'm looking for a job as a conveyor belt maintenance technician. Would you please assist me with this request? Okay, John, what I would recommend, of course, again, I'm going to tell you to come to this workshop tomorrow on Friday, because we talk a lot about looking at a job posting and applying keywords and keyword phrases to your LinkedIn profile. And again, today we talked a little bit about the job search. Go to the job search page and start looking for, just type in conveyor belt maintenance technician and see what pops up. Now, here's the thing for you. If you're not finding companies that are listing their jobs on LinkedIn, you're going to have to think about what companies are, if you want to be close to your area, have those jobs, and you're going to have to be monitoring that company's website. Call them, ask them if they're hiring, tell them how awesome you are and how you really want that job and all that stuff. Okay, Sherry, what do you consider a lot of... That's my Alexa. Alexa, cancel. That's funny. Does that ever happen to you guys? Okay, Sherry says, what do you consider a lot of connections? So this is a really good question. When I first started, I had 50 and I was kind of sad about that. And as I've started to grow my connections, you have to think about it as quality over quantity, okay? The quality of connections you have, the quantity of connections you have isn't always necessarily going to mean the better. Like the more you have, the better, right? If all of those are high quality, that's really where you're going to win on LinkedIn. So you're not just going to be connecting with anyone at any time, because you'll get a lot of spam. And I get this. And Tori knows, because she helps me manage my LinkedIn page and my connections. I get a lot of people that they don't customize their connection request. They don't have a profile photo, and it's kind of hard for me to connect with them, because I'm like, is this going to be a high quality connection for me? And probably it's not. So you have to consider that. So I don't know if there's an exact number that you could put on that. You have to look at the quality of the connections. Helen says, a question regarding skills matching to job roles. How is it done? For example, if you have 2 out of the 10 skills matches for this job. Yeah, so you have to keep in mind, and this is a whole nother topic, and we could go on forever about skills and endorsements and all that good stuff and how to match for the job roles. You want to make sure that whatever skills you're listing on your LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn lets you list your top 3, right? Those top 3 skills should be the ones that the employer is asking for. Okay, if the employer is asking for something and you don't have it listed in your profile at all, and it's a really, really, really important skill that they need, chances are they're probably not going to reach out to you for an interview. So you got to be really careful with what you're listing and making sure that it matches up with that job posting. And we're going to talk more about that on Friday. Okay, Linda, can you send a message to a possible connection if you don't have a premium account? Yes, you totally can. In fact, let me tell you guys, I don't have a premium account. And let me tell you also, this decision comes up for me once a year. I'm like, oh, do I need a premium? And I'll reach out to all these LinkedIn influencers that I know. And I ask them all, I'm like, do you have a premium account? Do you use it? Do you think you need it? Almost every single time they come back with, half the time, half of them have it, half of them don't. And almost all the time they're like, well, I don't even know why I have it. I don't really even use it. So keep in mind that if you're trying to find a job, you don't need premium. Now, premium comes in handy when you want to tap into some of the other resources that LinkedIn has, like the training and this and that. But no, I don't have it. I don't think you need to have it. Are pictures necessary? Yes. And Brandon, I think do you mean a profile headshot, like a profile photo? If that's what you mean, then yes, 100%, you need to have one. And we'll talk about that on Friday more. Mary Grace, my LinkedIn account is nowhere ready. Which one of your videos do I watch to get me ready? Okay, I love this. So Tori, there is a video. It's the one that I just, not last week, but there's one in there. It's specifically for 2020. I can't even remember, you guys. It's like how to build a LinkedIn profile in 2020. I can't remember. It's about a 17, 18-minute video. Watch that one. Dolores, LinkedIn Premium required. I answered that question. Momo, hello. So glad you could make it here. And I'm not sure if I don't know if that's your first or last name or whatever. Is it Ed? Do you go by Momo Ed? Anyway, good question. So you're asking about, is it better to connect for quality or quantity? So we talked a little bit about that. Of course, we want quality, right? Laura, hello. So glad you're here. Laura says, how do you maximize your profile if you want to change a different career? Again, that's going to come back to tailoring it to the career you want to be in. Okay. Now, this means you have to focus on transferable skills. You have to focus on skills that apply to both positions until you're really working, or maybe you're volunteering or whatever, so that you can show some more hard skills and things that are more measurable, but tailor it to the career you want to be in. Mary says, should you try to add 10 to 20 connections every day? Yes. Okay, Mary. So this is one of the things I tell my LinkedIn profile perfection students to do, is every single day, try to connect with 10 to 20 people. Now, this is overwhelming to some people. So if that's overwhelming to you, drop it down to 5 to 7. And you can use that same template over and over and over. Just make sure you change the name, change how you know the people, so on and so forth. Terrence, why is it seemingly bad to change into a whole new career field? I don't know. That's kind of a subjective question, because I don't think it's bad. I actually think I'm a big proponent of, you have to love what you do. And if you're in a career where it's like a struggle to get up for work every single day and you do not love it, you have to change, because we are all going to spend our lifetimes working. And for me, I love to get up and I love to go to work. I love to come here and do this with you guys. I love it. But if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you have to find work that you love, because you're going to be doing it forever, or until you retire, and maybe even past retirement age. So I don't view that as a bad thing. Brandon, I worked for a family for 20 years and relationship ended badly and don't talk to family anymore. Do I admit that or pretend it ended? When you say, do I admit that? This is how I like to look at it. When you're networking with a new client, or you're going to a new job opening or position or interview, whatever it is, you don't need to share your life story. Okay. They don't need to know how the relationship ended. They don't need to know that there was anything bad that happened, unless they really ask you those questions. But don't bring it up. Even if they did bring it up, I don't even know. It's you got to think of, that's your business, and that's more of a personal thing. A lot of times when you're in an interview, you're not sharing your personal experiences with things, right? So just keep it very professional. Alex, can I upload my resume in PDF on LinkedIn? You can, but don't do it. This is something that I get questions a lot about. Don't upload your resume. That's your personal document of stuff, right? You probably have your email address on there. You might even have your street address, which you shouldn't if you do, but don't upload your resume. Keep that kind of under lock and key, not lock and key. I don't want to say lock and key, but don't upload it unless, actually don't even upload it. Get the employer to see your profile and be like, ooh, this Alex guy is awesome. I want to interview this person. Let me get their resume. They reach out to you, and now you have started that connection. Okay, Monet, in the work experience, is it better to use paragraphs? Oh, Monet, you are getting ahead of us. So yes, we are actually talking about this on Friday as well. Okay, and this is my personal preference. I've asked other people, and we're all different, okay? So, and I know that's why a lot of you guys are here, is because some person says this and another person says this. I don't love bullet points in the work experience section. And the only reason why is because it mimics to me the resume, where I want to see paragraphs, because it allows you to show your personality and your character a little bit more, because your resume is so formal that LinkedIn is now a chance to get a little bit more non-formal, right? And show a little bit more who you are. So but I don't like to use long, drawn out paragraphs, just short and quick with a few sentences in each. And then, what you could even do is like a few bullet points. But I still like paragraphs. If you guys go to my LinkedIn profile, that's kind of how I'm going to teach you how to do things. Okay, Terrence, what if you had many jobs within the 15 years time frame? I like to keep it at 3 jobs with the longest job experiences. Okay, so Terrence, I think what your question is if you should list all of them. I wouldn't go any further than 10 to 15 years. And you said that you like to keep it at 3 jobs. I think that's great. Unless there's a job that you're leaving off that's not really showing some of your potential. Okay. If there's something that they need to see, if it's within that 10 to 15 years, then I wouldn't be afraid to put it on there. Marie, what will be a specific tip if you want to change your profile because of a twist in your career? Good question, Marie. I'm not sure if there's like just one tip. This requires a little bit of digging on your end in terms of what you say there's a twist in your career. What is it that you're going into, and really researching and understanding what skills you need or what talents and abilities the employer is looking for, and then tailoring your profile to that. Okay, Yukon 33, hello, says, how do you explain to your new and frequent activity on LinkedIn? Okay, this is funny because this was my exact problem. I was really worried about what my employer was going to think. I was really worried about what my supervisor was going to say. All of a sudden, I'm like building out this profile. And at the end of the day, I got over it. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to move forward, I can't keep hiding. I have to get out there and put myself out there, because the right people are not going to find me if I keep hiding this. And if they ask you, hey, just tell them I was at a workshop and I learned that two new users join this platform every second, and that there's 600 million people on this platform, that it is like growing. It's kind of like, when someone says, are you on Facebook? And someone's like, I'm not on Facebook. And you're like, what? You're not on Facebook? Or like, do you have an Instagram account? No, I don't use Instagram. And then someone's like, you don't use Instagram? It's like LinkedIn is one of those tools that you don't even have to explain yourself. Just say, yeah, didn't you know? Like, you should probably build out your profile too. You probably should be making your profile look awesome too. So that's how I look at it. Jeremy, I am amazed at how little people use the headline area to create the best impression. Yes, Jeremy, so am I. I am no expert, but do you have suggestions for how to best use Yes, we are talking all about headlines on Friday. So make sure you're here, because I'm going to tell you exactly. In fact, I'm giving you guys 4 to 5 examples. I can't remember how many. I'll show them on the screen of how you can take a simple headline and make it like 10 times better. Good question. Brandon, is facilities management a thing in America? Yeah, I think it is a thing in America. It seems like it would be a big thing. Let's see. Ansherman, is it worth spending on LinkedIn recruiter account? I don't think, if you're not a recruiter, you don't need LinkedIn or LinkedIn recruiter account. Okay. You're not going to benefit from it unless you are. Maybe you are a recruiter. And if you are, yes, I do have a lot of really close friends and relatives that are really fantastic, awesome recruiters, and they use it all the time. That's what as I shared with you guys that slide earlier, that 98% of recruiters and 85% of hiring managers use LinkedIn. So yes, if you are in that position for hiring and it's in your budget, definitely. Felix, any tips on how to tailor your profile for financial services when you've worked in so many facets of the industry, operations? What I would do, Felix, is I would focus. So if you're going to just have one focus, so financial services, what are the top 3 to 10 skills that you've learned in the other industries that you can mention on your profile and really focus on that? Good question. Jeremy, how do you use LinkedIn to discover the hidden job market? This is so funny. This question to me is like the funniest question, because everyone's like, where's the hidden job market? Where's the hidden job market? I don't know if there's such a thing. Like I think it's just something that people say, oh, you want to find the hidden job market? It's like searching for treasure, right? Like who doesn't want to go on a treasure hunt? I just don't think it's a thing. I think when we talk about the hidden job market, and I don't think I've ever talked about it in terms of let's go find it. It's like there are opportunities all over. There might even be jobs that aren't even listed. That's again where your network comes in. And that's why today's challenge is for you to connect with 10 to 20 people using that template, because that's where your next position is probably going to come from. How often should I post articles? That depends on your industry. I like to make one newsfeed post a day on LinkedIn, but that's me. If I were a job seeker, you could look at one or two a week. Articles, you shouldn't need to write an article if you're a job seeker any more than like once, twice a month. Think of it as a blog, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Roy, I'm looking for job opportunities in another country, let's say Canada, and I'm from Mexico. What would you recommend? That's a good question. So I do get a lot of international folks like you, Roy, that want to leave the current country that they're in and go to a new country. What I would recommend doing first is learn everything you can about the laws of that new country in terms of work visas, all that good stuff that you need to have or possess to get there. And I would get that groundwork laid. And while you're laying that foundation for yourself, start looking for positions, start networking with people. One thing I would recommend, because I do work with people that they'll get so deep into the process with a hiring official, and then they'll say, oh, by the way, I live in another country. And that person's like, oh, and then they stop the communication altogether. So I would be very upfront with what it is that you want to do, because you don't want to waste time. You don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste their time going through the entire process. And then they're about ready to make a decision. And you're like, by the way, I live here, when really they need you to be living in a different country. Okay. So just be careful with that. But really, really good question, Roy. Okay. Jeremy, does it make sense to include professional projects? Yes, 100%. His question is, does it make sense to include professional projects, visuals as an added feature to your LinkedIn profile? Heck yes. You always want to have, and that's if it relates to the position you want, the career you're trying to develop for yourself, all that stuff. Yes, media is a big thing. Sneaker Update. I love that name. Thanks for joining us today. Ma'am, please tell how a high school student make their LinkedIn profile. Okay. When you're either in high school or college, and I know college students, most of you guys know this, but high school, yes, please develop your profile. You got to just start from the top and work your way to the bottom. And we're going to talk about that on Friday. So I'm going to give you like different parts that you can talk about. Barbara, hello, Barbara. So glad you're here. Says, how does one handle unemployment gaps? So there's multiple ways that you can handle unemployment gaps. One of these would be, you just mention it in like your summary, like took time off to do this. Maybe you had to care for a parent. Maybe you had young children, whatever. You could mention that in your summary. You never want to mention it in the headline or seeking new employment opportunities. Don't do that kind of stuff. But you could mention it in your summary. Let's see, the original Alana. Heather, do you have any great follow-up questions to new connections to build relationship and network? Yes. Oh my gosh, I love this question. So this shows me that you're really starting to think about, not only are you going to get that first message out to them, but now they respond. Now what do you do? And this totally depends on the person that you're connecting with and what you have in common with them. So let's say you notice that they attended the same event as you. You could be like, hey, so what did you like most? What was your biggest takeaway from that event? Or let's say that they work in the same industry as you. What is your favorite thing about working in this industry? Or maybe they work for the same company as you. Like, ask, what I would say, the one tip, because there's so many ways to approach this question, Alana, the one tip I would say is relate the question to them so that they can talk about themselves, because people love to talk about themselves. So if you can say, what's your favorite this? What do you like about this? How do you, like that starts creating that relationship. So get them talking about themselves. Marie, what's the difference between article and post? Yes, it is the length of the text. Well, actually, not necessarily, because you can have long form posts. I'm going to talk all about this tomorrow, so make sure you're here. I'm going to show you exactly what the difference is. Manita, I'm a professional accountant with an enormous passion for genealogy. Genealogy is a side biz. Do I bother to share that part of me on LinkedIn? If so, yes. You know what? I actually would share it. And the reason why is because LinkedIn is such becoming more of a personal, and I don't mean like in a casual way, a personal platform where you're kind of moving away from like that stuffy formal document of your resume, and you're now starting to talk a little bit about, I'm passionate about this other thing. I'm driven for this thing. I'd like to do this. I would mention it at the end of your summary somewhere about like you could say something. And this is where LinkedIn gets a little bit more casual, where you can say an interesting fact about me. I have an enormous passion for genealogy, or something, you know, phrase it how it would sound like you saying that. And I would put that on there. Also, here's another tip for you, Manita. And this is for anyone that is like in a working field, but you kind of want to transition into maybe doing your own business. That was the situation that I was in a couple years ago. At any point when you feel like it's kind of tipping, like you say, okay, I'm working in this job, but I'm really, my passion is here, and it's really starting to go well for me here. And I want people on LinkedIn to be able to find my new skills and my new talents that I have. You have to switch. You have to switch over. You never want to have two different profiles. You need to like make the full on switch if you want to be found. Okay. Because if you're like lingering between this and that, it's really confusing message when people go to LinkedIn and they're trying to find someone with a specific skill set. But yeah, you have all these different things. It's like they want the person that specializes in this. And whatever this is what you need to list. Okay, and then Manita says, what are you covering tomorrow versus Friday? Okay, let me show you. I'm going to show you guys really quickly. If you have not yet looked at this page or have not yet saved your seats for Thursday and Friday, we are talking tomorrow. So this shows you guys exactly what we're going to talk about. This shows you day 2. We're going to learn how to build meaningful relationships and create kick butt content. Okay, so this is where we talk all about the posts versus the articles and all that sort of stuff. Day 3, we are discovering the 5 mistakes that you're making on LinkedIn, what you can do to fix them. Plus, we are doing LinkedIn profile critiques. Now, we've already selected a few individuals that we will be critiquing their profile on air, so live during the live stream. If you want to be eligible for the live stream critique, so you want me to review your profile online on air to tell you like what you should change, maybe what looks good, what to keep, go to heatheraustin.online/waitlist, and that will allow you to enter your free your profile, enter in for the free LinkedIn profile review. Don't forget also, LinkedIn Profile Perfection opens on Friday, so keep your eyes out for that. Again, it's kind of like taking this workshop, and we are going to be, it blows the whole thing up, okay? We go even more into depth with a lot of different items. Also, this workshop is only going to be available until next week. So I take all these videos that we're doing here and I actually put them into the full LinkedIn Profile Perfection course. So again, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here in the chat. We are going to be here again, same time, same place tomorrow. Make sure you join us. If you have questions in the meantime, pop them into the comments section below so that I can make sure that we get your questions answered. And you guys are amazing. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Tori, for hanging out and answering all the questions and getting them in front of me. Thanks, everyone, and I will see you guys all tomorrow.